Hi, this is Lori from CustomizedWalls.com and one of the moderators for the interior design community. We have a great show for you today. We're talking about video and all things HGTV and branching into getting into video as a designer or designer celebrity. And we have a very exciting guest, Barbara Viteri. Hi, Barbara. How are you?
Hi, Lori. Hi, everybody.
I am so excited to actually finally have you on the show. We've been talking for years now at this point, and I always love all the things you put on Facebook and how you're just out there and you just say what you have on your mind. And I'm so glad you were able to join me today on our show. The very first thing I want to do to our viewers at home is tell them a little bit about you. You own your own business, a management company. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I launched Viteri Style Management in 2012, and it's a consulting firm offering interior designers practical business management solutions. I wanted to be able to take my 20 years on the admin and bookkeeping level and just kind of keep it straightforward by informing designers the best software to put their businesses on, being able to be a one-on-one access for team training, and then also really get a handle on their bookkeeping because it's like deer in headlights. They're just not want to touch it. They don't want to know where their money is. They don't really want to deal with it. So a bit of a frightening point. So it's kind of nice that they have access to someone like me who pretty much understands the industry and make sure that we're on point with the money because that's why they're in business.
Oh,
so yeah, that's what Viteri Style Management is, sort of like the sum of that. Although recently I've kind of delved into, and I make a joke about this where I say, don't call me the C word, I'm not a coach. But it's sort of like delving into sort of advisement and having sort of straight shooting sounding board advice. So clients have me on retainer for that too.
That is awesome. I mean, I think that a lot of designers really love to have a coach. I know it's the C word, but they like to have someone point them in the right direction. And there are a lot of voices out there who are pointing in different directions. So knowing someone who has a financial background and understands programming and all the different tech tools they need is super important.
Yeah, I'm excited that it's sort of evolved into other things. I mean, I get invited to do speaking events, and I'm a bit of a control freak, so I don't just do speaking events. I have to have entertainment PowerPoint presentations, and I have to have designers that are a little bit pleasing to the eye, and ask them hardcore questions, but at the same time kind of make it at a realistic level because this industry is a little bit highbrow, and it is a luxury industry, which is great. But designers are really formulating it into a job where they don't want to be interior designers; they want to be entrepreneurs. So it's nice to kind of be able to create events that speak to the entrepreneur side, as opposed to it being all like, oh, what inspires you, or how did you get this book deal, or how were you able to get a product line? It really is just kind of delving in more into the entrepreneurial aspect of it.
That is fantastic. Now, I noticed that through watching you, you've always been interested in television. You've been interested in talk shows. You've been interested in designer celebrity television shows. You were on point with the Bravo television shows. So, like Flipping Out and those kinds of things. So it didn't really totally surprise me that you were going to have your own show. I really thought it was kind of a natural progression. How did you actually make that pivot? How did you start really thinking about that?
Well, here's the kicker. Social media is an interesting thing because I don't know how I landed on TV. I was on Wendy Williams' show. I was on the Bethany Frankel show. I seem to get out there, and I think it's probably my own filtered personality, which is funny. But on social media, I had these Twitter parties, and, I was probably one of the first ones to call out when Property Envy was on Bravo, and I'm like, oh my God, grand opening, grand closing. It doesn't matter having the designer celebrities like Jeff Lewis and Mary McDonald, they cannot hold a show if it's not good content, good entertainment, and sort of can speak to the viewers. And that's why I love getting a little bit of a fix on other design shows that I'm fascinated with. It's crack to watch Flipping Out for me. you know? And
I've been watching forever.
Right? I mean, Jeff Lewis, are you kidding? He's I'm a female version of Jeff, maybe. There's no polite way of saying it. You just get it out there, and you kind of deal with the aftermath and the destruction later. And that's watchable TV. It draws you in. and it's authentic. But then there's also like great shows, you know, on HGTV where, you know, you kind of get sucked in because it was nice to see Genevieve talk about a home renovation that was hers, you know, and it's her money and it's her drama and it's her family, and she kind of puts that out there. And then for me to kind of get into talk show mode, I really honestly believe, and mind you, the Design Network, which Designerlebrity Talk is going to be featured on, was not the only network pitching me. So in December, I had two major television networks here in New York, and they're pitching these reality scripted shows. But I have a saying, you know, not all money is good money. And I live in a 4,000 square foot house, and it is a money pit. It is the Amityville house, and it makes for great TV because no matter what you do to it, it's a reveal. Like, you know, balls or your eyeballing. Oh my God, it's beautiful. Like, it's that kind of house. But they wanted to put my children on TV, and I'm like, that's a no. You know, it's a carnival. I won't have my family on it. But to hear the Design Network create this platform where really they kind of see the creative minds of certain talent, as they would call it, and they knew that, or they saw something in me, which I'm hoping I'm seeing come, you know, this September when I start filming, that I'm just kind of out there, you know, with designers, and I'm having this sort of really interesting conversation with designers, and you know, to be able to put that on TV instead of it me and my family and drama and you know some scripted line that I'm not going to be able to act because I'm not an actress. It just seemed like an easy gig, you know. I already stalk designers as it is. Luckily, I don't have any sort of warrants. But to be able to have legal access to put them on the couch and have a talk with them, sign me up. I'm in.
I love that. And I actually think, you know, it goes to a lot of the designers that I talk to, they, you know, have a love-hate relationship with HGTV and some of the televised shows because in some ways it doesn't show all the difficult things that they do as a designer, and sometimes their clients have this unexpectation, like the expectation is that they're going to be able to get great design for like $5,000 or $3,000, and it's retraining, and it's going to take 3 days. You know what I mean? So,
when you watch shows like HGTV, I mean, really, you cannot base it on the intellect of the viewer. You know, like, come on, let's call a spade a spade. You know, I know that I cannot do a kitchen for $1,000, even if I was shopping at IKEA. You know, and has nothing to do with you being familiar with the industry or anything like that. I mean, we have trash TV. We even label it trash TV. But we watch it because we kind of want to get zoned out and we don't want to deal with our daily lives. And for 30 minutes, we just want to be entertained. So let's not knock HGTV saying, oh, they kind of disrupted and disturbed the viewer's mind of what this industry is all about. You know, when you do a job, people are hiring Jeff Lewis. They're paying the money to Jeff Lewis to be with Jeff Lewis. That's celebrity level. Business level, you being an interior designer, let's just say in Westchester, New York, they are paying you for your expertise and all of that knowledge that you can put together that they can't do. So I doubt you're sitting at a table at a presentation trying to kind of give them knowledge about the difference of what they're watching on TV to what they're actually going to get realistically in their home. So I want to kind of say that.
Surprised about that. That's actually a pretty big complaint that the average everyday consumer really doesn't have as much, you know, reality in what things are going to cost. But I will say that having an awesome platform like the Design Network allows designers to be able to put on whatever they want. If they want to show how difficult it is, they can do that.
Absolutely. I mean, you also have to understand now with so much technology and information, people are becoming their own interior designer. I think that's the bigger complaint. You know, designers are dealing with the, you know, Betty with the flair. You know, they think that they can actually do these rooms or do these homes themselves, but they kind of want just a little bit of an eye from the designer and sort of a check off from them that says, okay, good, that's the paint color I wanted to go with. I'll pay you a little bit of money just to say this is what we wanted to go with. Like, we're in a completely new generation now. And that's good talk for Designerlebrity talk. And that's why I was excited to do the show, because I wanted to be able to sit down with a designer. And when I mean Designerlebrity, mind you, we're talking about people that have been in all the national, you know, sheltered publications. They either had talk shows either on HGTV or, you know, been on segment television, you know. So this is not their first rodeo. They really earned that sort of title, if you will, you know, Designerlebrity. But to be able to sit down, I'm going to give you an example because I can't tell you who's going to be on the show, then I have to kill you. Yeah, well, but to give you an example, one of the designer celebrities I was going to have on the show, because I really wish he was going to be on the show. He had a client that he had sat down, did this presentation, showed the woman everything. He loved it. She was hugging everyone, you know, at the meeting. 2 days later, when it comes check time, you know, this is what we discussed. Remember this? Here are the proposals. She just said, "This is what I picked. I don't remember any of this." And the talk there is because her meds weren't balanced. She was bipolar. To have this conversation, we're about to see a gorgeous room. To hear the story behind that and to find out how much liquor this designer had to drink to get that, you know, nightmare. I mean, it's interesting to me. And then the work is just like, you know, mapped to the floor, you know. So as a viewer, you kind of get inspired, you get entertained, you kind of feel empathy for the designer. You know, there's always a story behind the project, and so that's what I love to chat with, you know, the designer celebrities. I can't tell you, but you definitely want to tune in and see on the show.
So exciting. And I think that, you know, I definitely think that there are going to be a lot of people who do learn through the process, who do listen and see, you know, they're listening to you talk to these great celebrities, and they're starting to see that, whoa, wait a minute, it isn't as easy as it looks. Like, I mean, we can all watch YouTube videos of how to, you know, dance like a prima ballerina. It doesn't mean we can all do it.
But like me, how to be a great TV show host, you know? Like, I have this thing, you know, if you want to learn how to do something, you got to go straight to the pros, right? And so, I don't know if you can see, but, like, I went to visit Steve Pinka. I went to his shop, the sawdust going. He has a great hit of a show. I think it's going into its 5th season called The $1 Million Contractor. I went to him to find out not about the longevity of him going into so many seasons, but, you know, about really giving a good show. What does it take? And we talk about how some people, you know, you can almost tell if they're not authentic or not, or, you know, something was scripted. Like, we're that sort of keen on what's happening with television when you watch all these Real Housewives and all these other things. It's all about just being yourself. And so the designers that are sitting on that couch will be them because it's a comfortable environment, and I'm going to just be me, you know, and I hope that makes for great viewing TV. I even met with Brian Balthazar, who is like one of the highest sought after celebrity interviewers, commentators out there, and I wanted to talk to him about, oh my goodness, like, how do I get the designers comfortable to want to talk to me and kind of like to show their real authentic side. And they feed off of like who you are as a person. So I'm really excited about the designers I selected because it's a good balance. It's what mainstream media would recognize as a designer celebrity. At the same time, it's what our industry will recognize as who is a designer celebrity. And just to hear them shoot the breeze is just going to be awesome.
Yeah, the real stuff, the trials and tribulations that took them to get to that point where they are a designer, a celebrity, because I think that a lot of interior designers dream of becoming designer celebrities. I mean, there are many, many who don't, who just want to they want to have a great practice, they want to have a great studio in their own town, but there are a whole group of them that actually do want exposure and do want, you know, to be the next designer celebrity. So hearing from the experts about their story is so huge, so huge. So
luck does have, you know, play in it, because again, I really think that, for instance, the Design Network probably was following me on social media. I mean, I'm a pill, you know. If you follow me on Facebook and if you follow me on Twitter, I don't shy away from making postings of like, hey, you know, I only got 45 minutes, I have to multitask. Yes, I'm going to get my car serviced with a full head of hair coloring in it. You know, like, I let it out there. I do try to keep, you know, my family as private as possible, and I find it really interesting how people just want to friend you. I'm like, if you weren't at my wedding, I don't understand why you want to be my friend on Facebook. But, you know, there is a business page you can go to. Yeah, hook up over there. There's probably someplace else for us to kind of hang out. But I think if designers kind of, one, get out there, and that's what social media is for, people will start to see or read the type of personality that you are, and it could make for really good TV. Because I'm the viewer. That's the one thing. The Design Network, I started off as a major fan. I'm watching Architainment. You know, they're really sort of delving into like lifestyle, where they have a cooking show with Entertaining with Beth. You know, I was watching Material Matters, like Glamour Goes South. You know, I was the viewer with a snack front and center during lunch, just eating away, watching my shows for 10 or 15 minutes and got a good fix. Like, that's why I love, you know, that platform. It's a good fix to your day, whether you're getting inspired, entertained, even judging, you know, it happens.
Yeah.
It's a good platform for that. So I think designers, if they start off on social media and just kind of just flourish or blossom and kind of get out there a little bit, people take notice. They really do.
Oh, absolutely.
Those faces too much where they take notice for the wrong reason, but
that's right. Tell me a little bit about, so we know we're going to be talking to celebrities. You can't tell us who, but tell us a little bit about your format. What's your plan for the show? What do you give us a little bit of a hint?
Well, first off, I got a good balance, you know, because I've never done TV before. You know, I may have, you know, been featured on television or, you know, promos and been in front of the camera, not in a way of, like, I'm hosting the show. Because I got control issues. Like, I became the executive producer of the show. I'm the host of the show. I'm creating the show. I'm doing a formula, which I'm a little nervous about because I can't cook. But here, you know, I'm trying to cook in this, like, kitchen of creating this type of show. But I got a good balance of designers I wanted to talk to, you know, that I feel that I could be comfortable with, and they know they can be comfortable with me, which kind of just hopefully will sort of show off on screen. And then I have a good mix of Designerlebrity, you know, like I said, all sort of know and recognize from the industry, but even mainstream. You know, they've been on syndicated television, they've been in segments, you know, so we're sort of familiar with them. And the whole sort of idea of the show is to get their cute little tushies on the couch, talk about, you know, what they've done, delve more closely into a particular project that they've worked on, and then I even have surprises for them. I'm going to show them. A couple of months ago, I did a social media request to kind of send in your design dilemma questions. I had people from Viteri's come in and email me, and they gave me photos of their questions, and I'm just going to throw that at the designer on the spot and say, how do you fix this from your expertise? You know, just like what most of their clients, you know, they're like, this is it, you know, what do you suggest? And other surprises, of course.
I hope you get them to say something like, you know, I watched one time like a great interview with what's his name, the guy from Top Chef, and
that's probably why I don't know how to cook.
Yes. Well, anyway, he says he was asked, like, which chef do you think is the most overrated? So you've got to ask them questions about other designers too.
Look at me.
We want to hear that. We want to hear the gossip.
Well, there's something. One of my virtual talk show mentors, Wendy Williams, she has a segment called Hot Topics. You know, and
I know Wendy Williams. Yeah, of course.
It's easy, by the way. How do you do that? You know, yeah. But I was on her show, and funny enough, like, if you go to my YouTube channel, you're gonna see like this funny sort of banter going back and forth between she and I. But the point is like, she has a segment on her show called Hot Topics, and she just lets it out there when it comes to celebrities, and, you know, like, she could rip Justin Bieber a new one because, you know, the way he's acting, to celebrating people's, like, achievements. I don't need to take Designerlebrity at that level. I think there are fun things that I will do that designers will do automatically. You know what I mean? It's that interesting how they really do fit that caliber. They all have egos, you know. That's what makes them who they are, which is great. It makes them bring out great products, write amazing books we all want to read and put on our coffee table. You know, even not only just watch them on TV, but to go to the events. Like, people are going to the Las Vegas market and going to Atlanta market to see them in person. You know, you can have, I think Mary McDonald and Martin Lawrence Villar, they had a line, and bear with me, I believe it was for Schumacher. They have a line out the door, just like you would going to see, I don't know, Celine Dion. Just
right.
To get photos, find a book. So they have the celebrity status. So why not showcase that? You know what I mean? I mean, I'm not asking for paparazzi to go, you know, hunt down their children at school, but it'd be kind of nice to give them a little bit of, you know, that treatment. And just put a platform like Designerlebrity Talks on the Design Network and showcase it. I mean, that's my plan. That's how I
love it. I can't wait. I have to see it. I mean, I've been watching the Design Network shows like you have since pretty much the beginning, so I'm super excited. I also want to know, you picked the Design Network. So why? Why the Design Network versus the others?
Well, a big one was the whole thing of having my children on TV.
That's right. That's right. But there's also, aren't they going outside of just being on the Design Network? Like, they're not just online, right?
Yeah, no, they're actually, I believe, the syndicated market is in North Carolina, but it wouldn't surprise me if they were branching out in other markets, other states, you know, within this year. But also, it's like the YouTube channel for the interior design industry. You know, you kind of filter out you can find everything and anything on YouTube, but it's filtering out and sort of getting into a good niche of like a lifestyle and being able to see almost your peers or the people you've had lunch with could have the possibility of being on that particular platform. And then if you want to kind of dissect that, you can get into designers having their own channels, whether they're selling their own product, I don't know, maybe they want to use it for therapy. You know, there is a platform for them, which is great. And I think that Design Network is really sort of taking it up a notch, where they're sort of like really coming out with some good content and some good television shows. I'm hoping Designerlebrity will be one of them. But like, I love watching Architainment. You know, this guy Mark, he's got some clients a little ticky ticky boom boom, and you know, in my opinion, you know, there was a woman who had imaginary mice, and he had to build sort of like doors inside the base of the molding. And I'm watching this thinking like, wow, you know, there's no people with white jackets, you know, waiting for her. Like, this is amazing. Good show. The design was impeccable. The personality of her was just so charming. That gets you drawn in. So Design Network is showing good programming. It's not like, hey, you know, I'm Betty Homemaker and here's what about doing to my house. No good editing, you know, not even good music, mind you. You know, I'm not going to put gangster rap on my segment, but you know what I mean? Like, at least have some decent music. You know, they're really getting into the production of things.
I think it's fantastic. And I was part of the focus group for the Design Network and talked to them a little bit about some of the strategies that they were planning and listened to some of the designers talk about what they liked about it, what they'd like to see improved. And one of the major things that they're allowing you to do is put links into your videos, like annotation links. So if you were selling like a product, or if you had a great product you wanted to talk about and just put it on your blog, and maybe you had an affiliate link, you can put that link right in there and get a commission.
Yeah, and even building up your social media following. So even if you're like, you know, a designer that's just trying to get your name out there, you know, everyone's sort of banking on, oh my goodness, I need to have so many Twitter followers, or, you know, so many Facebook followers, or nobody knows where my website is. There is a platform for it, you know. Just make sure you really think about what you're putting out there. You just don't want to be this bobblehead and just talk, you know. Production is key for me. I think this is probably why, you know, I think it's funny that I'm actually hosting this show, because I would see other people doing this. I'm a fussy girl, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a little big-boned, and so I wouldn't think I would be an image for doing a show on camera. I would see someone totally hotter, in my opinion. But, you know, it's the fact of being able to kind of like, if you're going to put yourself out there, have good editing. You know, get yourself a hairstylist, get yourself a makeup artist. Make it presentable for TV. That's where it's going to go. It's not going to be on always someone's computer screen. It's actually going to go in TV. And so you never have to be watching. So step up your game a little bit if you want to kind of create sort of your own channel and your own video platform. And you being part of, you know, the whole workshop with Design Network, you actually have first dibs of what the show's going to look like that you could share.
Right. Yay! I'll be looking forward to that for sure.
I gave you the press release. Nobody's ever seen it.
Ah, that's awesome. I'm so excited. And we're going to be putting your exclusive, the photo that you have for us, and we're going to be putting your link to your channel also, not only in this video, but on our blog post and on Google Plus and the landing page there, so that everyone can find you. And the other thing I wanted to say too about the Design Network is that your show is different. Like, he has certain Jason Harris from the Design Network. He has some people who are like getting produced shows and getting it put onto the cable network, and then there are some that are not yet. So it's like you can still upload a photo, and if you get a lot of attention, if a lot of people love that video, that he's going to be looking at the people who are really bringing in a lot of traffic to see if that he can produce those shows. So if you have an idea that you really want to kind of do your own show, you know, this is a great way to do it, and watch you, because there's a lot of learning that you have to do before you start into something like this.
Well, that's a good one, because like I said, I went directly to the pros to figure out, you know, how does this monster get tamed, you know, and then also I have crazy ideas. Like I get my debate on things, you know. When I decided I was going to do this talk show, you know, I said, oh my God, I'm featuring designer celebrities. They need to be on a red carpet. And so, like, I got my boys from Tile Bar in Brooklyn. I'm like, oh my God, we should do a red carpet made out of tile. And they showed me this wall with 1 inch by 1 inch tiles, mosaic, and they're going to make this design pattern on a red carpet made out of tile with the name of the show. Like, those are those little touches. It's sick how cool this thing's going to be. And they're all over it, like white on white. But I'm thinking the design industry, so why not have a tile red carpet to put their pretty little feet on? Like, that's a great way of showing how you can boost your game a little bit. Not to mention, I do have a step on my feet, don't I?
Right. You're going to do the shoe cam, right?
Yeah.
So.
I got that idea from Wendy Williams. I'll give her a shout out. But, you know, I had to figure out a smart way of not telling you who the design celebrities are, but as a TV, like, who would be wearing shoes like that? You know, who's fitting literally, and it's going to be on this tile red carpet. It's off the chain. I'm so excited about it.
I love it. So tell us more. We only have a few minutes left. We're down to 3 minutes. I told you it would go by so fast. So tell us where they can find your channel, what they should need to be, when is it going to be on? Give us the details. Actually, when can we expect it?
Yeah, we're looking at early November, maybe the first week in November. I'm shooting next month, and you know, I'm running a thriving, growing business. So like, I just went nuts. I'm only filming for 3 days. I'm doing 2 episodes per day. So I'm squeezing this in while I'm running, you know, my Viteri Management empire. But we're looking to have it out in November. And you can watch it on the Design Network. I believe their website is www.designnetwork.com. And of course, you can follow me on Twitter at Viteri Style and find me on Facebook. Don't friend me. You have to know me if you're going to friend me. But you definitely can go to Viteri Style Management's page, and I totally do a hangout there.
Can they sign up for a notification when it starts?
Oh, well, here's the kicker. There's so much press on this show that I had a hard time taming it. So I know that
follow the Design Network maybe on Twitter too. I'll put the Twitter handle on there for you guys. But follow the Design Network to kind of, and maybe even you on Twitter to see when it's coming out. Keep looking.
Oh, the dates will be out. Yeah, the dates will be out soon. I mean, we're still, you know, we're in August right now, so we have some time, but there will be dates out. And like I said, what's great is that there's been so much press that's been wanting to kind of get information on this. It surprises. I mean, look, we're having a chat on it. You know, ahead of schedule. So there'll definitely be notifications. I know the Design Network will definitely have, I wouldn't say they will have a Facebook page. I don't think it needs one, but you'll be able to find something on their actual website.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is a great way for you designers to, you know, take a look at how they're doing it. And if you are going to start your own channel and you do want to go in that direction where you do get picked like Barbara did, you might want to watch what she's doing, because they obviously want to do there for a reason.
Aw, thank you.
I think it's fantastic. I can't wait to see your show. I think there are a lot of great shows on the Design Network. I'd love to see even more. So I can't wait to see you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks, everyone. Hope you
All righty. Well, we are closing out. Make sure, everyone, that you come to our YouTube channel. You visit us on Google+, where we always live, and on interiordesignCommunity.com. We're going to have all of Barbara's details, the Design Network's details, so that when you come there, you will be able to find exactly what you're looking for. Her channel, all the Twitter handles, so you can follow the news and stay informed about when you can watch the Designerlebrity Talk. You've trademarked that name too, so don't even think about stealing it.
Yeah, I'm that girl, yeah.
All right, well, thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.